Hello, Destiny. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome everyone to the Condé Nast College of Fashion and Design Inside Online Courses Q&A live session. That's a mouthful. We're going to give you a moment to join in because I see people are still joining. And then we're going to start our session today, and it's all about our online courses. And really, we have a very short presentation just to remind you of the key features of each of the courses. And then it's all up to you to be asking as many questions as you have to make sure that you got all the information to make this decision to hopefully join us and to figure out which of those courses is the best for you. While you're still joining, could I please ask you to let me know in the chat or the Q&A function that you're going to see at the bottom of your screen, whether you can hear me well, just to make sure that we have no technical difficulties today. Yeah, anyone? Anyone out there? Oh, yes. Ryan, thank you so much. Thank you. Danny, thank you so much as well for letting us know. This is really helpful. Fantastic. So you've also discovered the web chat function now, the webinar chat function, sorry. So you can post throughout the presentation your questions here in the chat, or alternatively, you can post it in the Q&A function, which is also quite useful because we can track all the questions really well in the Q&A. And we will also be posting some additional information into the chat, so then you can follow those to our pages and find out a little bit more. Okay, I think we've now settled. So without further ado, I shall share my screen. I hope we don't really have videos because the sound doesn't want to share. And we're going to start our presentation. Okay. So let me introduce everyone. So today we have on the call the course leader of the online programs. It's Sophie Stevens. Hi, Sophie.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
We also have Ruth Marshall-Johnson, who's the course leader and cultural analyst. Hi, Ruth.
Hello, welcome, welcome.
Also joined by Sophie Cullen, our course leader and the fashion beauty expert. Hi, Sophie.
Everyone.
We also have on the call today Teresa Havas, who's also one of the course leader and the creative communication expert. Hi, Teresa.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here.
You will notice we also have Wendy Kay as a course leader listed here in the fashion business expert. Unfortunately, Wendy couldn't join us today. However, we will have other course leader covering that topic, so not to worry. We're also today joined by our wonderful admissions behind the scenes, Hayley Black. Hi, Hayley.
Hi, everyone.
As well as Destiny Martin. Hi, Destiny.
Hi, everyone.
So if you have any questions, you can definitely post your questions to both Hayley and Destiny and anyone else, really. Okay. So again, welcome to our online Inside Courses session. And I'm going to pass you on to Sophie Stevens, who will kick off this presentation. Sophie?
Hello, everybody. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It's lovely to have you all here. As Agnes said, my name's Sophie Stevens. I'm the online program leader. So welcome to the session today. Over the next hour, I hope we can give you all the information you need to decide which online course you might like to apply for to come and study with us and become part of our Condé Nast College community. So to start, I'm going to be giving you some top line overall information that applies to all of the courses. This should hopefully, tell you everything that you're going to need. So the Insights courses are delivered entirely online. via our platform Canvas and supported by Zoom for all of the live sessions. So this means everything comes to you no matter where you are in the world or what time zone you're in. If you're unable to watch any of the content live due to time or work restrictions, these sessions are recorded for you to watch at your own convenience. So 1 week before the courses starts, you'll have access to our runway section on Canvas, where you'll be able to watch a recorded session about our online platform, showing you how to navigate the platform, find your tasks, upload your work, watch the live sessions, contact your course leaders, all that kind of really key information. This is so you have time to prepare really and familiarize yourself with the key aspects of the platform before your official course start date. So all the courses begin on a Monday, where you will receive a live welcome session and welcome by your course leader to meet your fellow students and to take you through some key information about the courses. This session is also recorded should you not be able to make that welcome session live. So that will be recorded and uploaded for you to watch at any time you like. Then from your official start date, you'll receive the content on a week-by-week basis. And the content goes live every Monday at 9 AM UK time every week. You'll need to complete the content for week 1 before you can progress onto week 2 and so on. Each of the future weeks will be locked until you have completed the week before. The course duration is 8 weeks, which breaks down as 6 weeks taught content with a further 2 weeks to complete the final course task. So a total of 8 weeks overall. On successful completion of all the 6 weeks content and the final course task by the deadline dates given, you will receive your certificate of achievement. So each week you will watch recorded lecture videos, then complete your tasks for that week that are connected to the lecture video you've watched. You'll engage in live sessions and do any further reading or watching or listening of extra content that we include. And from this, we predict that you will do approximately around 7 to 8 hours of online activities each week. But of course, this can always change. You can always do more, and this will vary student to student, depending on how much research and time any given student wants to give to a task. We also offer suggested guidance on what to read, watch and listen to as well. This is to help further enrich the knowledge of the subject of that particular week. So overall, the time you take to complete each week could vary a little, but we estimate 7 to 8 hours as a guideline. You'll have lots of guidance, advice and support on how to complete all the tasks and briefs set for you. The tasks are designed to follow the lecture videos and guidance videos that you watch on the course. And the activity that you have to complete is designed to test what you've learned from watching the lecture. You'll receive a weekly live lecture from an academic or industry professional on the subject matter connected to your course's learning, which again will be recorded if you can't watch it live each week. So these take place on a Thursday and are split into 2 tracks. The creative track, which includes fashion styling and creative direction. Your lecture takes place between 2 to 3 PM every Thursday. And the business track, which includes digital content creation, fashion branding and communication, and business and entrepreneurship, takes place between 1 to 2 PM UK time. You'll also receive a live session with your course leader each week, where you'll have a chance to discuss the week's content, to receive feedback, to engage with your fellow students and really enrich your week's learning by delving deeper into the task and hearing all your fellow students' views and opinions, which is so important. Your course leaders are really your key support system while you're studying with us, so it's important to attend these if you can, to gain as much knowledge and feedback as possible. These take place either on a Thursday or Friday, depending on which course you take. For the April run that we have coming up next, it will run as follows. So digital content creation course leader days are Thursday, 11 to 12 PM, Fashion styling Thursday, 12 to 1 PM. Creative direction on a Thursday, 3 to 4 PM. Fashion branding and communication on a Thursday, 4 to 5 PM. And finally, business and entrepreneurship course leader sessions take place on a Friday between 2 and 3 PM. Lastly, as a member of the Condé Nast community, you will have access to our live Vogue Education Presents programme, where you'll get to hear from some high-profile guests live, or again, if your time zone can't make that difficult, you can watch the recordings back at a time that suits you. So this live event takes place every Tuesday at 4 p.m. UK time. The only live session that isn't recorded are the course leader sessions, as these are more intimate group sessions where everyone can talk freely. Finally, at the end of the courses, we hold a lovely virtual graduation celebration via Zoom on the final day of the course, which happens to be today for our January courses. So this evening, we have our graduation event for those students. It's a really lovely finale for all your hard work, and all the students are invited to join, along with their course leaders, industry guests, and some college academics as well. So it's a really lovely event that's quite special and unique to us. In terms of required technology, what you need tech-wise, to complete the course, the requirements are quite basic, as you can see here. What is really important, obviously, is that you have good Wi-Fi connection throughout the course. We're online, so that's the thing that you need more than anything else, so that you're obviously able to participate to the fullest. So a little bit about who we are, just for some transparency, and so you can get to know us a little bit in this hour. So as I said, my name's Sophie. I've been working as a stylist and art director for just over 25 years now, with a main background in magazines and editorial shoots. I've worked all over the world for a range of different brands and clients and publications. As an art director, I work primarily overseeing creative shoot concepts and work with press and brands on a consulting level, as well as dabbling in a little bit of TV and radio here and there as well. I've been an associate lecturer at Condé Nast for nearly 10 years, and I'm the online programme leader, course leader for Vogue Summer School and MA Styling module, and of course, course leader for the online styling course. That's a lot of courses. So that's me. Over to Sophie Cullen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sophie. Yes, I've been at the college for quite a few years now, and I lead the digital content creation course. My background is very much journalism, beauty journalism, specifically social media, working kind of in the digital sphere, I suppose. As well as that, I run a events company as well, and we have a big social media presence. So I do lots of kind of day-to-day running strategy, social media. And yeah, and I can't wait to talk to you about the digital content creation course. Thank you. We haven't got Wendy, over to Ruth.
I'll just step in for Wendy briefly, just to read her in her absence. Sorry, Ruth, jumping in. So yes, Wendy, who can't make it today, but she is a fashion business expert. She is your course leader for the fashion business and entrepreneurship course. She's an educator with over 10 years experience in the fashion buying industry. She's spent working for some of the biggest fashion retail brands in the UK high street, followed by building her and running her own business, where she's very passionate about homegrown British brands and heritage and provenance, beautifully crafted fashion products, and new and exciting opportunities for fashion businesses and product development within the UK fashion and textile industry. So Wendy is a hugely talented and knowledgeable professional, as well as being completely lovely and fantastically supportive course leader, as they all are. So you're in very safe hands with Wendy, but I will now pass over to Ruth.
Thank you very much. I am a postgraduate lecturer here at Condé Nast College with a specialism in luxury brand strategy, but I'm also a futures researcher, and that has enabled me to work with creative directors, with stylists, with media specialists, with all of the roles that make up a fashion industry. So for the online offer, what I'm really thinking about is how to create excellent creative directors. And we think about methodologies, we think about ways of approaching what this thing called creativity is. We unpack it, we think about joining the dots, as it says in my bio, between innovation, futures, creativity, fashion, of course, but all those other things that we might call fashion these days as well, so that we can create a really good picture of how you can work in the fashion industry as it is, and how it's going to be in the next 10, 20, 30 years, whatever your sparkling career might be. Teresa, over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Teresa. I'm the online course leader for fashion branding and communication. I've been with Condé Nast for 4 years now. I also support BA, the postgraduate and undergraduate studies, specializing in branding, fashion communication, PR, innovation and entrepreneurship. So for me, creative communication is really about how we can continue to create stories that connect, think about our audiences. And when we're talking about branding, it is about establishing that mark in some shape or form that instills trust and brings value. So I also look forward to speaking to you a little bit more about this course, and I'm handing back to Sophie, I think. Thank you.
Yes, back to me. So let's talk all things fashion styling. So this course is obviously perfect for anybody who feels that styling is their passion. So be that as a hobby or, as a potential career, or for anyone with an interest in styling and fashion photography, generally as a whole. So it's also for those that want to explore the different facets of fashion styling, as well as understanding the conceptual and sort of production processes behind a fashion shoot. It's a really interactive course, as all our courses are, which obviously aims to enhance your styling techniques and creativity. So within the course, you're going to learn how to recognize key influences in fashion styling and photography, and how styling is used in different areas of the industry. So including editorial, still life, advertising, street style, and celebrity, through some really exciting briefs, such as we have a fantastic Met Gala task, celebrity Met Gala task, which is always a firm favourite. We have a great menswear lookbook brief, and a fantastic still life project, leading you all to creating your very own fashion shoot as a highlight at the end of the course. Just to give a little bit of context over the weeks and how they're structured and what you'll learn. So week 1, we look to the history of fashion and the advent of the stylist. So historic and cultural influences on fashion imagery and idea generation is the perfect place to start, and to start you on your journey in looking into fashion styling. So on that week, you're going to recognise key international stylists and what influences their approach to styling through the ages. Week 2 looks to the facets of styling and the stylist toolkit, mood boards and concept pitching. So crucial for the entire course. You create lots and lots of innovative, exciting, inspirational mood boards. So this is where you're going to understand the different types of styling and the tools and knowledge and skills required for each, so that from week 2, you're creating these fantastic shoot concepts, styling ideas via your exciting mood boards. Week 3 looks to advertising, lookbooks and street style. So identifying the differences between advertising, editorial and street style fashion images, so you understand. Each week we really try to get you to put different hats on in the styling industry, and to understand, the different requirements that are involved for each of those disciplines. Week 4, we look to the production of a fashion shoot, so the importance of creative agencies, and this is when you also complete your still life shoot. Week 5, we're looking at sourcing clothes, international travel, and on-set shoot etiquette, so all those key things you need to know as budding stylists. And week 6, as with all our courses, we look to the future. So this is based around society and the environment and the effects on fashion styling. We have a fantastic lecture called The New World of the Stylist, where we look to the future and what it means to be a stylist today and beyond. So a little taster to the brilliant creative content you can expect to receive on the fashion styling course. The next course begins on the 8th of April, with further courses running on the 24th of June and 7th of October this year.
Hi everyone, thank you Sophie. So I am the other Sophie and I run the digital content creation course. Now, what I really like about this course is it doesn't matter, if you're into fashion, lifestyle, travel, cooking, gardening, social media applies to every single industry at the moment and is only getting kind of bigger and more in demand. And I think a course like this really does kind of set you apart from your competitors, when you're applying for those social media jobs, strategy jobs. We get a lot of people doing my course that are from a brand and just want to know more about strategy, that want to know, how to create TikToks, how to, make an Instagram reel, looking at viral content, looking at kind of ethics and sustainability. And we talk a lot about, generating ideas and coming up with ideas. How do you come up with fresh content all the time? Because that's the thing with digital content, is that you have to do it daily and multiple times a day to stay on top of it. So it's really important that we're doing that, and we're making the most of all the lectures that we have, which are absolutely brilliant. There's a fabulous lecture, and as someone that works in the industry, I learn something new every time I listen to it, and it's the Digital Content Creation Toolkit, and it has really great websites that can really help your content, take it to the next level and look super professional. So that's really exciting. We have amazing speakers each week, and we do some really good topics. We, whilst this is an online course, it's very practical. One of the tasks is to be taking candid, symmetry, flat lays, all different types of photography on your iPhone, and us going through it. So we're looking at your ability to shoot your own content. We ask you to make your own TikTok reel. We ask you to pair influencers with brands, because that's a really important one. But we're also looking at key processes and methods into creating digital content, and you hear from some fabulous experts in their fields. Also looking at digital marketing, because this is a really important one, because a lot of brands want to do more of this. Also, we have a lot of influencers that come to the course as well, and it's looking at how we pair the right brands with the right influencers. Connecting consumers and audiences with different digital content, and understanding the key tools, the different apps that we need to be using, different practices that were commonly used for digital content creation. And ultimately, I think recognizing how digital content is evolving, what's coming next, what's the next big thing, because we had TikTok, didn't we, a few years ago, but what's coming after TikTok? And I think as content creators, we need to be constantly researching and listening and looking. So this course really does kind of equip you with all of those tools to help you to do that. And what I love also, it just attracts such a vast array of students. So we have people from all different industries, and it really does kind of help your work, because you get so many different comments and information and guidance, and also contacts, which is really important in this industry. Contacts is key. So hopefully you'll make lots on these courses. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm staying around until the end, and I can go through anything with you.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, Sophie. The double Sophies. On to me, creative direction. This, of course, is what it says on the tin, right? We welcome creative directors, those who are budding, those who are developing, those that have been in the industry for some time. But also we welcome anybody who's considering being an art director, considering anyone who is thinking about being a styling project manager, anyone who might be thinking about working in media, but taking a creative role, a visual communication role, anyone really that wants to create stories and be a really good storyteller with visuals, and also with cultural and relevant topics that we talk about in many different ways, whether that is through images, through words, through film, animation, drawing, writing, whatever the format that you wish to think about. And yes, we have had graduates from this course who are writing books. Some are making AI, incredible AI films. Some are really working as designers, graphic designers, and some are working as more sort of physical, hands-on stylists, or even architects, and even painters and people who use a pencil, which is incredible in this day and age. So what we're really trying to do is get you to think about the process of creativity and how to manage it, and how to make sure that you are building something with it in a way that makes sense for you, and a way that you can organize and really start to turn into a ritual, a practice, a way of having a role that absolutely differentiates you from truthfully lots of other people who work in creative industries. So a lot of our discussions on this course are about how to stand out, but also how to be the best that you can be, and also how to work out what slice of the creative direction pie you want to work in, because there are lots of different roles, and sometimes, actually quite often, and I think the other course leaders would say this, students on these courses say, I didn't realize the roles that were available. I didn't think about all of the different varieties of working in a creative industry. I didn't know behind the scenes. So that's a lot of our job as well, to show you what is possible. In terms of a structure, we take you through the 6 weeks, as Sophie said, and then in the last 2, weeks 7 and 8, you create a masterpiece project, which is really exciting. That project is a reflection. It's a build on the first 6 weeks, and we ask you across those 6 weeks to practice stuff, to investigate how you feel, to think about what you think, to really critically analyze what you're doing and why you're doing it, and why your work would have some relevance in the modern world, out there in the big wide world. What does it look like in response to those questions, and how can you start to develop it and unpack it and obviously polish and make it better? So we're learning about principles of creative direction. We have to start with those first principles and think about what it is that we're doing. So we have some history, but we really then take this sense of, let's look forward, let's look at what the industry is doing. How can we maybe improve in places? There's always room for improvement. How can we be more sustainable, of course, but also how can we be more reflective of current culture? How can we build really excellent ways of thinking about human beings today, and think about what they need and what they want to see and how they want to communicate with each other. We then look at how to develop a creative vision. You know, there is so much more to just having a good idea. We really start to unpack what it means to have an idea, where it comes from, what you can do with it, how you can really start to think about all the elements of that idea, and maybe unpack it and create 20 different good ideas from one initial brainstorm. So we look at how to develop that vision, how to put it down on paper, how to break it into different roles and different pieces that you have to then start to plan around. So then we have to think about defining a brand language and communication strategies, and applying that idea to the brand values that you're working for, or to the values that you're being asked to create for a business, for a brand, whatever that might be. And we are thinking about fashion. That is true. This is creative direction for fashion, but we're thinking about fashion in a wide sense. So we might be thinking about hotels, hospitality, definitely technology, of course, and tech businesses, and all of the fashion brands, from all accessories through to menswear, womenswear, possibly kids, and we've even talked about pets in the past. We really start to think about how to build a dream team. You know, no creative director works by themselves. There is a whole team of people that you need to be able to communicate with and inspire and talk about, and to be able to create a sense of cohesiveness when you are going right the way from that initial idea all the way through to the end product. So we think about that and how you can manage it, and we get you to wear the hat of the boss for at least a week and just imagine how you are going to manage that team. Then we are thinking about managing collaboration. What happens when 2 very different creative directors come together, or you and a brand, or 2 brands that you're thinking of that don't exist yet? How are you going to create them? How are you going to bring them alive? And we think about technologies and ways of approaching that, but often it's about collaboration. So we get you to collaborate 2 unexpected brands and see what comes out of it. And then, of course, the last week, week 6, we are exploring future creative directions. What happens next? What's going to happen when we turn that cultural wheel another turn in the next 5 to 10 years? How can we prepare for it? What does it mean? What are some of the ways of speaking into it and making sure that you belong in that next generation of creative communicators? We have students from all over the world, which is absolutely essential to this course, because everybody, of course, comes from a different point of view. And also we have students who are thinking about taking different approaches to this. Some people are straight out of school. Some people are in the middle of doing graduate or postgraduate degrees. Some people are coming from work. So we do get together as a little creative community, and every week we sort of unpack what everyone's working on, thinking about what's going to help them the most. So you do leave with kind of a transformative, hopefully, mindset around creative direction, but definitely an excellent portfolio to take you into whatever the next phase might be. Same dates for us, so do come and join us if you're inspired.
Amazing. Thank you, Ruth. Moving on to lovely Teresa.
Thank you. So branding, what is a brand? It is perhaps a sum of product and its reputation. And so when we look at guarding someone's reputation or their image, we're having to look really closely at what the company or the service or the person is bringing together by way of telling a really cohesive, transparent, ethical, sustainable, and future thinking story. So in order to think about the future, I often have a present proof philosophy, which is thinking about the where we are now by way of looking forward. So during this course, you're going to have an opportunity to present proof. You're going to think about presencing the where you are now to where you want to be next. And in presencing, you're thinking about what's working, what's vulnerable, where the opportunity is. And although there is competition, and to Ruth's point, let's think about collaboration and think about how we can create movements. So fashion branding and communication is about the study of how we look at fashion brands, how they tell their stories, what they do in their storytelling that makes it come alive. How are they connecting? What are the user journeys? What are the customer journeys? How are they building experiences? And so we look at customers, we look at, as it states here, ethical and sustainable brand practice, because that, from a cultural perspective, is at the heart of everything. And where there are so many brands now talking about their sustainability promises, we can go a little bit further and then really establish, well, what do they mean by sustainability? Because there are so many iterations of it and so many brands saying different things. And again, we come back to, well, what is the point? What is the real movement? And is the brand delivering on its promise? What value is it bringing? I also do a business track lecture on something called the Blue Ocean Thinking, which is about value innovation. And that is about finding a niche and seeing where you can stretch the imagination, seeing where brands are doing above and beyond and seeking out new spaces in which to present themselves to their audience. And from innovation, we think about the future, and we think about the future of branding, where it is going, and touching upon all the aspects of social media. We look at PR, we look at how image making is brought together and the stories that are told, and whether those stories are truly true and honest, and how can we determine that? The tasks really vary. There are some very creative tasks where you can create immersive stories, kind of using different platforms to immerse us into your idea. There are also some wonderful opportunities for you to compile some real thought pieces about something that you've seen and studied from some of the lectures, and then give your opinion on what makes that something that can bring some possibility, where are the challenges, and what possibly can be the solutions. So really, those of you who are interested in not just understanding stories and how stories are coming together, but taking that precursory look first and foremost about, like, what is this brand saying? How is it saying it? Why does it matter? And more importantly, why now? And aligning how time and a reflection of the time is more often than not the first is more often than not expressed first and foremost, maybe on the catwalk. And how is that changing? And how are we receiving these stories, and what makes them special? So I think I may have covered all of that aspect. And yeah, it's definitely for the curious, fashion branding and communication. And for those of you who are strategically and creatively interested in how people think and how we can meet that imagination or inspire the imagination to grow audiences and communities, and really think about that triple bottom line of people, planet, and good profit at the heart. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Teresa. Also so well versed that she's going to be able to speak to you about business and entrepreneurship as well.
Thank you. So new hat on.
New hat.
New hat. This is what we all do, right? We are jack of all trades, mastering many. We are resetting that. Notion. So the world of creative industries is just, as Ruth was saying, there are just so many facets and spaces in which you can carve your own niche. And your own niche is that calling. And I guess this is where business and entrepreneurship really comes to life. It is for those of you who are listening to that whisper, that calling that's encouraging you or inviting you to say, do you know what? I have this idea. I want to bring it to life, and I want to bring it to life in a really practical way. So this course allows you to not only see an introductory, not only bring the introduction of business to your space, to your awareness, but it will encourage you to look at everything holistically. And in looking at everything holistically, you get to look at, how marketing is set out, how we strategically look at, we have this idea, can we assess and really validate the why now? Again, we come back to that why now. And what is it about my business that is going to make it special? So in order to get to defining or revealing that certain something special, there will be a lot of conversations and teachings around the importance of research and development. And that in looking at research, you will seek out patterns, and those patterns become the trends, and those trends allow you to think about possibilities. And so you then get to think about what or when you may want to launch a particular idea, and the kind of bringing together of the different elements of what makes your brand, because this will also be about, I guess, your own personal branding, and how you will take responsibility for your own business in creating an image that's going to make sense, that's going to bring something to the world that, again, aligns to people, planet, and profit, that it allows you to think about your why in a sense that you are going to be contributing something. And in doing that, you will get to know or spend that time, again, just really thinking about, well, who is this for? First and foremost, in the world of entrepreneurship, it must be for yourself. You need to impress yourself. You need to have a really good idea and confidence, which we hope to keep building throughout. And then impressing yourself, then you think about your audience and those you want to attract. And that from there, with all of the learnings over the weeks, you will get to draft your own business proposal as if you're pitching it to an investor, and enticing them into this world that you believe we need to create in order to make the world just that little bit better through the lens of fashion and the creative industries. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you everyone, really. We have some thought to show you some of our past participants of those courses who completed and moved on. And some of them, as you can see from the descriptions, they kept on coming back to do more courses with us, which is just a fantastic testimony, really, to how much they value and enjoy those courses. As you can see, we have here Tom Clark, who's a model, and he's done the business entrepreneurship with us online course, and then followed with digital content creation, and then with actually fashion styling was the first one he started with us. But as you can see, he followed on to do 3 other courses, including the foundation program. Alice also, she's done the creative direction with us, but also she's previously done the intensive Vogue summer course, the Vogue summer school, which we're running in the summertime. And she's the product designer and creative director. We have Oxia Martinez, who's a graphic editorial and web designer, freelancer. She's also done a number of those online courses with us, as you can see from the description with her. Some people choose to do more than one of those online courses at the same time. It's not easy, but it is definitely possible. We also can see here John Herrera, who's the designer excuse me, and who did our fashion styling. And funnily enough, he's collaborating with Alicia Nichols, who you can see here, who's a model and performer. So it's I guess it's a natural fit with a model and designer. And also, as you can see, Alicia has done a couple of our courses, online courses. Funnily enough, they haven't actually crossed over during the courses. They've done 2 different courses at the same time in March in 2021, and I believe this is when they met. So, and later on, they got in touch again after the course got completed, and they started collaborating, and they collaborate, I believe, till today. So truly, you will get to know your student fellows, even those from other courses, because you will be meeting them in some of the sessions. And as you can see, truly the collaborations and new ideas are being generated throughout this time, and people do follow up and continue doing projects with each other even after they complete courses, which I think is exactly what you want to do, is to make sure you get the most out of this experience with us. There's some testimonials from our courses here, from our students here. You can see, of course, everyone's enjoyed the courses. I think a lot of people say they're quite intense, but you do get actually a lot of value and a lot of knowledge within that 6 to 8 weeks of the duration of the course. And if you wish, you can also, we always advise you to check our social media, as it provides a really nice sneak peek into what it is like to be a student at Condé Nast College of Fashion and Design. Yes, there's a big focus on the on-campus courses in there and generally content, but there's also a bit of a content for our online courses, as well as if you check out our Condé Nast editorial on our website, you will find students actually writing about their experience on those courses. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing for the moment, and we will see whether you have any questions that you might want to ask us. I see there is a question. So Ari is asking, hi, do these courses help to prepare a portfolio for career purposes?
Yes, absolutely. As you come towards the end of the course, we ask you, the majority of the courses, to put all of your work that you've done into a portfolio that you will end up leaving the courses with. So this can be an excellent tool for handing for further education, for budding stylists that want to be assistants, attaching that to CVs, you know, showing your visual aesthetic or your business plan or whatever that might be. This absolutely goes towards you leaving with physical work and, you know, things you've physically created in a fairly, you know, short time span, which I think has been really useful for all of our students. On a different note, I did just want to say generally, you don't have to have any knowledge in any of these subjects to do our online courses. They're insight online courses. So I just wanted to stress to you, if you think, oh, I really love, you know, I'd love to know more about digital content creation, but I've never done it, or I don't know much about business, but I'd love to do it, or styling is something I've just kind of like, but I've never, this is the place for you. We welcome you all. We always have a really varied selection, like we said, of students of varied selective ages and abilities, and that all works really, really well. I often joke and laugh and say that I get a lot of lawyers that come and do the styling online course, because apparently many lawyers really want to be fashion stylists. Who knew? But just to give you some, you know, some confidence that, you know, if you just, all you need to do is have an interest, be passionate, and, you know, want to take it on, and we will help you with the rest. So I did just want to share that as well with you all.
That is true. Hayley, would you like to say a couple of words about how the booking process for those courses look like?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a quite straightforward process. We'll just ask a few basic questions. You'll have to enter some demographic information and then just submit the payment. So when you go to our website, you can click into any of the individual course pages. I posted all of those in the chat as well, so you can go and take a look at each of the individual courses, see if there's any additional information. And of course, always reach out to us if you have questions. I'll post our admissions email in the chat as well so that you know who to contact. But then, yeah, very straightforward process. You'll be able to click on the registration link and just enter your information. And if you have questions again or run into any issues, just reach out to our admissions team. I'll go ahead and post that in the chat. We have a few more questions coming through, so make sure that we get to those as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry,
Thank
go
you,
ahead,
Maggie.
Agda.
So I think maybe for one of our academics here, hello, can we jump to work life right after these courses, or do we need more experience, knowledge, etc.?
So we do get asked this quite a lot, actually, and it's a tricky one. It very much depends on how much knowledge you have coming in, I would say, your experience level coming in. They are insight courses. They're only 8 weeks, so there's only 6 weeks of taught content that we give you. So I would say it very much depends on your level of experience and knowledge coming in. If you're completely new, you will probably need a bit more experience, be that another course or work experience. I've had a lot of my styling students go on to assist. Absolutely, start their careers. Absolutely. And also I think it's a very personal choice. Some people really like to gain more knowledge, more studies, have that experience behind them. Some people are just desperate to kind of get into the industry and start doing stuff. So I think it's a personal decision. What we do obviously with the courses at the end of the course is give you some reflection on your journey. We always see progression from week 1 to week 8, and we give you some feedback on how we feel you've progressed, potential next steps, potential things to look at. So obviously they're only fairly short courses. So again, it comes down to your level of expertise and kind of where you're positioned as you come into the course.
Thank you, Sophie. Teresa.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that because I often have conversations with our students as well who, just a reminder that this is a catalyst for conversations as well. So if you are looking to enter the fashion industry, not yet necessarily directly linked to the industry, but want a segue in, these courses, by the end of them, give you these little conversational starters for when perhaps you might want to prepare for an interview or apply. Just even being able to, I guess, reference the fact that you're currently studying insights here and you're keen to develop within the field. And that when you get to interview, you then have a portfolio ready that, again, that word catalyst, this is allowed for something to build your confidence in having those conversations.
Yeah, one thing I would say that's really nice and seems to be voiced across all of our courses at graduation, definitely, is confidence, is how much more confident people feel. And considering it's an online environment, some people might be fairly surprised at that, but we do create quite a community, as Sophie said, connections, support, talking to each other, connecting, seeing how other students work. So especially for our kind of younger students, this is something that really, really helps. I think, being around like-minded people, being able to kind of share your vision and your thoughts, and really gain a lot from kind of studying with other people. To see people leave more confident and more sure of themselves is such a lovely thing to kind of hear and know. So you gain so much more than just a knowledge of a subject, I think, during these courses, which is great.
Thank you, Sophie. We also like to remind you that, as we've mentioned, those courses are only 6 to 8 weeks. So they do offer some career guidance in a way of telling you what might be possible within the industry. But it is limited compared to, for example, masters or bachelors, where we really work quite in depth with students on their career and professional progression. Here, it's much more limited in this regard. Okay, we have a couple of more questions. So another one. Hello, I'm completely new to this industry, and with the course that I'm doing, I have been told that I would be good in PR. or social media marketing, but I have no further knowledge about these. Would you suggest the digital content creation course would suit best? Thank you.
We do cover obviously social media marketing quite heavily within the course. And we talk about, different strategy that you can use, different brands, what they're up to, partnering with influencers. But we don't really cover PR. So I think you would need to make the decision what pathway you want to go down. Is it more social media or is it more PR? We definitely cover lots of different elements of social media. So you'd be well informed on that side of things. But PR isn't something, unfortunately, that my course covers. But I think, that's entirely up to you. We'd love to have you on the digital content course. And again, everything that you learn on the digital content course can be applied to PR. But PR is much more strategic. And also it depends what kind of PR, is it corporate PR? Is it fashion PR? There are lots of different PRs that you can do, and same for social media as well. But my course just lends itself very nicely to lots of industries, which is, very useful for people. So I think that's probably a decision you need to make. But if you are leaning towards social media, then my course will definitely be brilliant for you.
Thank you, Sophie. Teresa, would the brand and communication be?
Yeah, I was nodding with Sophie because we're like together, not the same, aren't we, Sophie?
Yeah.
So it's like we're all in the world of storytelling, and actually branding is about protecting that reputation and relationship building. So PR, the R in PR is public relationships. So we definitely, as part of branding and communication, touch upon that. We explain that a little bit more. And my background, sorry, I didn't mention it earlier. I have 20 years in the world of PR. I used to head up a global sportswear brands PR division back in the day. I now run my own advisory, which supports people in their storytelling. So yeah, it is. I think that the world of PR is it's sort of interlaced within all the courses, to be honest, because there is an aspect of publicity, there is an aspect of needing to tell that story in some shape or form, but branding and communication perhaps may suit in the regard of really thinking about what is it that you want to say, how do you want to say it, who is it for, and then to Sophie's point as well, Sophie Cullen, about which aspect you want to go into, because if it is more for your own personal branding, then perhaps entrepreneurship is the place to consider as well. So yeah, it's
so many options.
So many options.
Why don't you do them all?
Well, you could.
Well, you could, and that is the beauty. Not all at the same time, though. We only recommend 2 maximum, just so everybody's aware. If you did want to do more than one course at the same time, none of the course leader sessions or the live sessions we have crossover, so you are able to do more than one at the same time, but no more than 2 we would recommend.
Yeah. Another question, is it possible to balance a course and a full-time job? If so, can you share advice on how to do so?
So yes, I would say most of our students are either already students somewhere else, have full-time jobs, single mums, traveling and working. Everybody is doing something else. So it's, I would say that's a testament to the fact that you can absolutely do it with a full-time job. Obviously, only you know your full-time job and only you know your hours. So you need to obviously consider that. But the fact that all of the live sessions are recorded means you don't have to attend anything live if you can't do it. That also reflects sometimes, we have students in Australia where they're very much asleep when we're talking and can still engage, and I still have great conversation with them and we have great feedback, and they watch everything recorded. So it's absolutely possible. Obviously, you can do that in the evenings, you can do it over the weekends, you can pick things up just when you have time. Within the courses, we have timings against each of the tasks, so you can pre-see how long something might potentially take you to do. So there's lots of kind of ways around it for that. But yes, absolutely, we have people studying, people working, and doing all of that, and doing this on top of that. It's built very much for you to do in your own time span. Obviously, we have a deadline for the course that we need to adhere to, and obviously we prefer you to keep as up to date as you can with the weekly tasks. But sometimes it's not possible, and life gets in the way, and you have busier weeks than other weeks, and you might be a couple of weeks behind, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine. You know, that is your course to do how you'd like to do it. So that is absolutely fine. The only thing we ask is that you complete everything by the end of the course. So ideally, like I say, we ask you to keep as up to date as you can, but we are flexible to life, because we all know how it is. That absolutely great question, but very doable. But obviously, do consider your own personal circumstances and jobs as well. Only you will know if you have that free time to be able to complete.
Thank you, Sophie. And then the final question we had, which, to be honest, I've answered within the chat, but in case anyone has missed it, the next running dates for those courses are the 8th of April, that's the closest upcoming one, then the 24th of June, and then the 7th of September. We're running those courses usually 4 times a year, and the 4th run is in January. So there's plenty of opportunities to book those. We review them regularly, so they're always up to date. And yeah, you've met our wonderful academics, you've met our admissions. I think there's nothing else left to be said, unless you still have any final burning questions that you'd like to ask here. I think if that's not the case, then we are ready to go. And thank you so much for joining us today for this session. I think it's one of the few sessions that we actually kept to the advertised timing. So well done, everyone. And yeah, I hope you got all the information you needed. If not, please drop us an email to admissions@condénastcollege.ac.uk. The link is in the chat. We're going to be sending out this recording later on with an email, so you can always go back to it. We're also publishing those on YouTube. So if you can't find it in your email, you can always find it on our YouTube channel. And I hope we're going to see you at one of our courses. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sophie, Teresa, Ruth, Sophie, Haley, and Destiny. Thank you so much for supporting this session today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Nice to meet you, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.